Hey Rebels, welcome back to the channel. I'm gonna try to do a short video this time. I have a hard time doing that, but I also think that my other ones are running a little bit long-winded, so we're gonna give it a shot. Mentioned in a video yesterday that we were in a bull pennant pattern, which is typically a bullish sign, and they generally continue with the direction of the trend, which it is showing like it's wanting to do right now. I have, like I said in the last video, I basically view this as indecision because we're getting lower highs and higher lows. And so until we break definitively one way or the other, it's kind of direction unknown. So, and even this could be a fake out, but so far in the short term, that's looking really bullish. And it looks, and this was also more likely going to be accumulation based on the levels that we were holding. Just signs of strength. This consolidation happened above major resistance levels. So that was a positive sign. So I like seeing that. But I wanted to talk quickly on how does this relate to the dollar. So we're getting this nice move up in BTC. Well, what are we doing in the dollar? So it's just an interesting move. I posted this in the group that over the last week we've seen the dollar on the rise. Bitcoin has been in a kind of a consolidation, but even on today, where the dollar's having a nice move to the upside, which we kind of expected because we've broken through this major resistance level. To me, it made sense that we would come up to test some of these. So I was actually anticipating, one of the reasons I was a little cautious earlier was because I'm expecting at some point there to be a reversal in the US dollar or something just to come up and retest some of these levels from the underside. And this move to me could have spelled more pain for crypto. But what we're seeing is a rise in a lot of crypto prices. So to me, what that's saying is that there's underlying demand in the cryptocurrency space. So I do like to see this because part of the reason I was expecting a pullback was because I was expecting a pullback on the dollar. And I was also expecting a potential bounce on the USDT dominance on this 50% level to maybe come up and test some of these levels from the underside because we've had our overbalance in time and price to the downside on USDT. And for those of you who don't know, as the dominance of USDT or dollars in the market increases, what it's telling you is that dollars are coming out of the crypto assets into dollars. And now what we've done seeing is that money's coming from the dollars into the crypto space. So nice closes above or below this long-term trend line, and we're just basically in the same kind of holding pattern here. And we'll just see if this resolves itself to the downside in a similar way that Bitcoin has resolved itself to the upside. So basically what I've seen, and honestly, it happened really quick, is in the last week, we've basically had the mid to long-term signals were all screaming very bullish, and now we're starting to see the short-term line up there as well. So, or short-term bullish as well. And I wanted to go over a couple signals that I see in the charts here. This one's a little bit shorter lived, but we have a fourth time breakout potential in the USDT dominance. And if we break this level on our way down, that's going to be massive for the altcoin space. So that is a potential, and that would also get us below this old trend line, which has acted support pretty much since inception. And we saw the first hints that we wanted to go lower here. Whether that comes down to this level or not is yet to be seen. But if that does happen, that'd be majorly bullish. And then we also have a similar thing playing out on an even larger time frame, monthly time frame potential. Fourth time breakout to the downside. Now there's very early days. There's lots and lots of room to grow even down to these levels. We don't have to breach them to have good times. But I just wanted to throw that in there as a little icing on the cake. If we do breach those levels, well, then hopefully you were following here and and not in a few months. What else did I have here? Oh yeah, I wanted to just quickly go over some of the things in the group. We do have a couple positions triggered. A couple positions triggered if you want to check those out, and the levels. And basically they got triggered because they entered an uptrend. Up on the daily basically was triggered, and so we entered right when it flipped up on the daily time frames. Yeah, and that's basically how we got into those. I remember it's funny because I've been expecting this pullback, so I haven't wanted to go as heavy. But the shorter term keeps lining up, and the trends are up, and the shorter term kind of lines up to it all is all painting a bullish picture. So I think that I'm probably done setting orders for now, and I have a little cash on the side, which will be nice. So if we do have that drawdown, I'm not overexposed, and I have a little bit more cash to throw in as things do come down, if they do come down. Um, and what else did I have on here? Where did I post that? I gotta find out where I posted that. Oh yeah, I wanted to make mention too that I did make a $600 deposit here just from another account. So this does not add to the P&L. So the P&L so far, like we started with 5K and now we're up to basically like 11.4. So just over double in a week, which is like really good. We sometimes you accidentally get the exact bottom, and that's kind of what we've done. We've really scalped the bottom. We got really close to the market, and it didn't burn us, which is good because, like I said, there was a lot of positive signs in the moment, but we need more confirmation on top of that, and so we were taking smaller trades. I think from here, I'm putting a pause on entering because there are some larger signals that will take a little bit more time. But in the short term, I think we can make some money on these smaller positions. And then when we do correct in a larger way, what I'm hoping is that that provides some structure that will give us some entries on the weekly uptrend, which is an even larger, longer uptrend. But that will be at the cost of higher prices. That's just how that's going to go. So if we can make a little money between now and then, I think that that's good. But that's basically what I'm watching out for. So we're entering on the daily uptrends on some of these. Eventually, I would, we just don't know too. I mean, the market could take off and we could be in a neutral weekly trend for 3 months before it decides it wants to give us that structure. So you just don't know. So if there are some entries near the lows where we're getting a weekly uptrend signal, then we will probably be more likely to enter those. But for now, I'm very happy with our exposure to the market for this particular portfolio. And I think that's about what I have. I think I wanted to do some just final notes here as far as like what are your goals and what are you looking to achieve? I think that's something that you're going to really want to ask yourself. And the other thing too is even though this portfolio challenge is going really well and what I'd like to do, because I would like to be the person that's transparent and shows a P&L. I want to show you the wins and I want to show you the losses because most people out there are, you know, they have something to sell. Of course, I mean, just like anybody with skills, you want to sell that. But I think what a lot of people think that they want, and this is kind of a wants versus needs, what they want is they just want to get buy and sell signals. I do post in the group on the things that I'm buying, but I want to make it clear that that's not financial advice. I know that you would want buy signals like, oh, I want to know when to buy and when to sell. It just doesn't work. I've tried it before, and I've tried it before with people who have a good P&L, and it doesn't. The reason it doesn't work is because if it's not your trade, then you don't have the conviction to hold, and you don't know the exact strategies. So the whole point of my videos is so you can see where my thought process is, and maybe even just spark a conversation. Join the Telegram group or leave comments down below. Is to learn more and more about reading the markets in real time so that you can develop your own strategies because that's what I'm doing. I'm not using any one person's strategy. I'm using an amalgamation of everything that I've learned over the last 4 or 5 years looking into the markets to give me an idea of how I want to read the markets in real time. So I guess that's one cautionary tale I want to talk about is if you're out there searching YouTube looking for somebody to give you buy and sell signals and basically just spoon feed you how to do this, it's not going to work out for you. I can almost guarantee you that. It's just, don't even bother. It's not a good idea. But what is a good idea, I think, is to join a community where you have like-minded people who are looking to accomplish similar things that you are. If you're really into the hype and you're really into, I want to know the altcoin that's going to do 1,000x, and you want to, mortgage against your house and throw it all into that tiny coin because you think that, you're going to get generational wealth in 3 weeks, then by all means do that. These markets have tremendous opportunity. And I think that there's a niche for everybody. But for me, my channel, what I like to do is I just want to give you the facts and the data, and I just want to see what are the charts saying. And so what's the most likely outcome of that, and just play the probabilities because that's really all it is. Nobody knows, no matter how long they're in the market. And the people who've been in the longest will tell you that nobody knows what's happening on the dark end of the chart. And you just, you have to get enough hindsight to where that becomes your foresight and learn what is stacking the probabilities in your favor, which is basically what we've been doing since we started this account, starting small. Because the probabilities actually weren't really super in our favor when we started. But now the probabilities are even more in our favor. And so that's a pretty exciting thing. So anyhow, just wanted to leave you on those thoughts. Like think about, what do you actually want to accomplish? Are you trying to learn a new skill that you can use to, you know, have a little extra grocery money every now and then? Because I mean, that's something that's great. Do you want to quit your job and live off of this income? That's also a possibility. You have to understand, like, what is it that you actually want, and what can you do to attain that goal. And my suggestion to you would be, learn as much as you can, and I will help as much as I can, because it takes a while to kind of cut the wheat from the chaff, and understand what's important and what's not, and reduce some larger concepts down into things that are actionable and that you can kind of implement into your own plan. So anyhow, that's kind of where I wanted to leave it. Short term, midterm, long term bullish. I think we're in it. I think we just started the alt season. The last thing that I posted in the group that I will leave you on, as far as where are we in terms of, market or like the market conditions, right? And so one of my mentors had this in his studies, trying to decide, where do we want to put our money, right? Where is it safe? So he has this kind of little cheat sheet. It's like, if gold is weak and stocks are weak, then you move to cash. That's when cash is safe. Cash is king. Risk on is gold is weak and the dollar is weak. Then we can move to stocks, i.e. risk on assets. And playing defense, if stocks are weak and the dollar is weak, then we're going to move to gold, because that, at least, when that flips, gold will be the safe haven that people tend to go to. So anyway, what we're seeing right now is definitely a weak dollar that I've shown many times. And then if we look at gold, and I will leave you on this, get back to the daily. We had a 3-bar down signal right here, which usually indicates a slow, like a loss of momentum, basically, like 3 hard days of selling. Even though we did go higher after that, and it may have seemed like that was a failed signal, you can see that it didn't go very far before we basically gave it all back, right? And so that doesn't mean that gold is absolutely rolling over completely at this point, but it is showing its first signs of weakness, as we are also seeing the dollar decline. So those are all important things to keep track of, and we'll keep things posted on the channel. So anyway, I think that's all I got for you. Yeah, till next time.